What's up? So in my last video, or it might have been the one before that, I talked about the goals for this channel, and this was one of them, doing story times about funny or stupid stories in my life. So this is the first one we're starting with, the camping trip story time. This was probably either like December of last year, like January this year, probably more towards December. And so it's really cold, right? And we had a couple months prior, before this even started, we had a text, like had a group chat of the idea of this. Like, it wasn't planned, it wasn't like situated, but we had the idea. So then I come around December time and I get a text saying, "Hey, we're gonna do this. Do you want to come?" I'm like, "Bro, I was part of the idea. Why didn't I get invited before?" So I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I get invited. I'm in the group chat, and we're just talking about all the stuff we need, a whole bunch of lists, right? So my dad is a veteran, so he has a super big military bag. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna bring this hoe, pack it to the brim. And if you know a military bag, they are super complicated. 50,000 straps, like somehow it carries a bunch. Like, I don't know how, it's just massive, right? And it hurts your back. So I had to start training to to hold the bag. So I'd walk around for a little bit, just like with the bag on. It was like 40, must have been 40 pounds. I think I was like 200 pounds when I went on the scale. But yeah, so I get this bag situated, and now it's the day of the event. We all meet up at my friend's Ethan's house, and his dad's the one that's hosting it, so he knows, he's done camping before. This is all of our first times going camping, except for Ethan. He went for like a day, and he has a U-Haul, so we're all supposed to put our bags in there. Turns out, all the stuff I needed didn't need to go into this massive military bag. I was like the biggest bag out of everybody, but like 2 times. So I'm carrying this this lunky bag around, like the most uncomfortable, heaviest, like for no reason. I didn't even need a bag that big. But we throw it all into the U-Haul. We drive around an hour and a half to this one national park. Don't know what it's called, but it was kind of a small national park. It wasn't massive, but there's this lake and stuff. We'll get to that later. But we get there, right? It's raining, so it's a good rain. It's not like a, but like a, you know what I'm saying? It's like a light rain. So it's not like you're not wet, but you're like getting drizzled on, right? So it's just a really nice experience. Just like, there's this huge, if I have a picture, I'll put it. There's this massive like mountain or cliff, and then there's like a huge river down, and it's like a 100-foot drop. You can just look over it. So I hope I have pictures of this. I'll put pictures up on the screen of everything I'm talking about if I have it. Sorry, my bad. I heard something downstairs, so I had to go check that out. But where was I? So, massive cliff, looking over it. We'll go down to that cliff or down to that river eventually, but that's like the next day. So we're just walking through this rainy path. It's all super muddy. Like, there's like venom, like symbiotes. They're like all in the water, like some crazy, like they look like diseased crap. Like, it's not like animals or it's not like beings, but it's like this weird like plant thing. It's just disgusting. It's just all over the place. So that's there. Walking on this path.
Your hands.
Super muddy. We had to keep slowing down because our friend Nicholas had trouble walking a bunch. But yeah, we got some cool pictures. I'll put them up on screen. They're pretty tough. But yeah, so we do that. We get off that path. We meet up at our campsite. Stops raining. And we have this little, like, it's legit just a campfire, or like a rocks. We have to start the fire ourselves, no firewood, just rocks, and like, I think that's it. And we had to get this, like, for some reason we had a 15-man tent for 4 people. If you don't, I didn't tell you guys. So it's me, my friend Cash. I think I've talked about him before. My friend Nicholas, my friend Ethan, us 4, and his dad.
I'm not taking any pictures of you. I'm just taking videos.
So that's the thing. But we have a 15-man tent. So it's like we have a lot of space, but somehow we still manage to not have space. But so we set this massive tent up with some difficulties. I didn't know what to do, but they always blamed it on me. I wasn't the only one doing bad. They was hoeing too, so they just hoed me for no reason. But yeah, we set up the tent, and then we start getting our stuff situated. Remember, my bag is huge, so I have about 1,000 things, very complicated. I don't know where half of it's at. So I just throw my bag in there, and then everybody else throws their bags. We all just set up our beds and stuff like that. One thing, and I'm gonna be talking about this a lot. That junk was cold. Like I'm telling you, at night it'd get to like 10 degrees. And we brought these like mediocre. Actually, no, I didn't. I had a really good one, but I didn't know how to use it. But like my friends bought some mediocre like beds, so them boys were freezing. I was sweating to be honest. Wait, no, was I? No, I wasn't. I was still freezing, but it wasn't as bad as everybody else. But yeah, so we set the tent up. Then we go for firewood. We got an axe with us, like a hand axe. So we're all just walking around getting firewood, cutting down these trees. Or not, it was more like branches we found. But yeah, we get the fire. We start a fire up, and that's like HQ. That's home base. That's the best spot you can be at when you're camping, like comfort wise, because that campfire was like the only warmth that we had. It was so like I'm telling you, it's winter time. I'm from the East Coast, right? It is so cold when it is winter sometimes. Like it's super cold, especially when you don't have artificial heating. It's just a campfire. So that campfire was like the safe haven. That's like the respawn point. And yeah, so we made sure we had enough firewood. I think he brought some too. His dad, he brought a bunch, but we still for some reason we got some more still. But yeah, so we set the fire up. Then if I remember right, I think once we started the fire, it was like yeah, we started the fire right when it was about to turn night, or like when the sun was falling, and the sun fell kind of early. I I think the sun fell at like 5 or 6, and once the fire, yeah, my audio is recording. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we have dinner, right? We got the tent set up. The fire is good. His dad starts cooking the food. He has like a little pot or like a pan. He has like a what do you call it? Like a graph looking like you remember like an Excel sheet. It's like that above the campfire. Then he has a pot on top of it or a pan. He has a pan on that hole, and he cooks us some fajitas. Now I think he tried to poison me or something because that night I ate the fajitas. I was like, something don't feel right already. It's like I'm picky. I'm a picky eater, so I had grilled chicken and just a tortilla. That's it. They kept making fun of me for it, but I was like, I really don't care. Yeah, so we got the tortilla. I ate that hoe, or not the tortilla, the fajita. I ate that hoe, and then my stomach starts feeling weird. So I'm like, that's not good. Then I start getting a headache. Then once it's nighttime, around 9 p.m., super dark out. We're all trying to go to sleep. I'm like, bro, I'm about to throw up. So I walk outside the tent, one foot inside the tent, the other foot outside on the ground, and I throw up, bro. And that when I tell you it was the most graphic throw up you will ever see in your life, I mean it. Like I don't want to describe it because it's kind of gross, but imagine like white chicken, like in a like a vision cone, like that the exact formation right outside our tent. It was disgusting. Apparently, found out later that animals were eating the food while we're sleeping, but yeah. So I had a terrible headache. I threw up, but I did end up falling asleep. Everybody else was fine. They were actually laughing at me. And when I threw up, they heard, and they started laughing, bro. We got some hoes, bro. But yeah, so they started laughing at me. We all fall asleep. Then we wake up. My headache's gone. I don't feel sick at all anymore. I'm actually the most healthy person there now, like the most rejuvenated. So that was cool. I wasn't sick the whole time. I'm glad, thank God, because it was a cool experience. But so I recover, right? Today, the day 2, raining the whole time, pretty much. And his dad makes us some food, right? This dude pulls out green eggs and ham pancakes. That was like the most processed food you ever seen in your entire life. That was like a symbiote meal. Like that's Fear Factor meal. But yeah, so he makes us eggs, like what are they called? Scrambled eggs. Bacon, I think. I don't know. We had this, I think, a couple days in a row because we were there for. I think we were supposed to be there for 4 days. We left on the 3rd. No, wait, hold up. I think we were supposed to be there for 5 days or 4 days. No, I think we were supposed to be there for 5 days. We left on the 4th. It's either that or we were supposed to be there for 4 days and we left on the 3rd. But yeah, so he makes us some not board game. He makes us some food, right? This Fear Factor meal. And it actually did taste pretty good. Like I didn't expect the green pancakes to taste good, but they did. And once we do Once it started raining a bunch outside, we had firewood and everything, but the fire went out. I think it went. I hope it went out because that'd be kind of crazy to just have the fire the whole time. But oh, that just reminded me of something. That fire, the smoke went always into the tent, so I always like my head started hurting even more when I was sick because it was terrible. It was like smoke going into my face all the time, throwing up. Some must have been in that food, but yeah, we're on the next day now. So he made us some food. We ate the dinner or the breakfast, and his apparently Ethan's family made a board game that they sell at like shelves. So we're playing this board game, and me and my friend Cash. Well, let me explain the board game first. So the board game is they give us a scenario like an event or a disaster, and they give you a couple action cards, like 4 items, right? And you're supposed to convince the other players that you would be able to survive the accident with those items. You have to use all of them. So what me and Cash were doing, we were killing each other. He was like, I think if I remember right, I had a rope, so I tied him to a tree, and there was a tornado coming apparently. So I tied him to a tree, shot him with like a crossbow, and then escaped on a giant frog. And we kept doing that. We would just kill each other with our cards and then escape by some stupid like random way. So it was super funny. I don't know what the game's called. I would give promo, but I have no clue. It was I have no idea really. But yeah, so we played that board game, and I can't remember if this is day 2 or day 3, but we end up going on more trails throughout the whole camping trip. We're going on all the trails, and we find this huge mountain. We go off the trail. We find this huge like hill, looking over the river on a different angle. It was a very clean spot. I hope I have a picture of these things, man, because it was so cool. I'm sure I'm missing a bunch of stuff from the camping trip too, because it was like 4 days of complete just camping. Like I know that's what camping is, but like we did so much crap. But yeah, we just talked about God, like where did he come from, like who created him, which I should make a video about that because that's a good question. But if you want the like quick answer real quick, who created God? Is it really a valid question because the essence of God is like outside of time? Well, like let me imagine this, right? So Big Bang, right? That's when time and space begins. So whatever caused that cannot be with like stuck in time and in space because it came before it. You know what I'm saying? So God created like space and time, which means that he cannot be bound by space and time because he was before it. You get what I'm saying? So that's why that's like the who answers. Dang, that answers the question of like who created God, but that's what we were talking about and stuff like that. So yeah, it was deep discussions. It was really fun actually, and that's why I'm making this video. One thing to tell y'all need to go camping. If y'all have a couple friends and one of y'all dads knows how to go camping, get a tent, get some supplies, and go to like a national park because that junk is so fun. Especially if y'all like sentient, where you guys can have like smart conversations, and y'all are like really good friends and stuff. It's so good. So go camping. I got closer with God with my friends. It was just a good experience. So go camping, please, for your own sake. And I already know I hoed the timeline because there's no way I'm doing this correctly. Like I am not foretelling the events in the correct order. But this is the next thing I remember. So I think after we walked back to the camp, after like we were on the mountain, we went down to the river, right? The big river I was talking about, the cool one. And I don't think it was raining anymore. Dude, I definitely hold the time. I'm sorry, y'all. I did not tell the story well, but I guess this is probably the next day after talking about the God stuff. But I'm just gonna tell the major events. Who cares if it's in order or not? You guys don't know. But yeah, we walked down to the river. We're fishing and crap, and I'm talking to my friend Cash. Which out of them 3, he's the only one that knows about this YouTube channel. So I was talking to him about this YouTube channel. I don't know why I'm acting like Batman with this. I mean, it's kind of fun to have something that nobody knows about. Like I had a YouTube channel before this about like video games called The Gaming Pompeo, and that actually look. I have a candle. Look, my mom got me this. So yeah, there's confirmation. I did have a YouTube channel before this. So yeah, it was just gaming videos. It was fun. I had super fun editing, and that's what I'm trying to do with this channel. I'm trying to be more personalized, like I was with that last one. I want to be more editing wise. I want to be more of myself because I noticed that with this channel, I tend to be robotic more. Like I'm not talking how I usually would. I'm not editing how I usually would. So I want to try and do that. So that's what I'm doing here. But yeah, Anyways, that's major tangent. We're on this river fishing, talking about YouTube. He's talking about personal stuff, whatever. It's just a nice time again. Feels amazing out. We're seeing all the trash in the river. It was kind of weird. It was like there's just every 10 seconds a new like spawn location of trash would emerge. There'd be a new like can going across the river. But yeah, we caught nothing. I actually broke the line on the fishing because I don't know how to fish for real. I went like, no, it was like, and it cut. So the line got broke. We caught 0 fish. Unsuccessful mission. Actually, we broke every single fishing rod that we had. All the lines broke, every one of them. So that was cool. But yeah, I'm telling you, it's like hard to explain because most of the experience is one, like personal conversations that you don't really remember, but you know they were valuable, and two, the weather. The weather when you're camping, especially like for me, my favorite season is winter. So it was cold. It was actually gonna snow the night we left. So that's how cold it was. But yeah, the weather, man, it was so good. Go camping. You'll know what I'm talking about. I think we're gonna go camping again springtime, so I'll have a new story time. But yeah, so we get back from. Wait, I just remembered something crazy. Oh yeah. Okay, this is the best part of the story coming up. So I'm gonna skip a couple more like pots or not pots, but spots. We just explored more trails pretty much. Like I don't remember it. Uneventful, right? But here's the coolest part, right? This is day 3 of the trip. I remember this. The next day we left afterwards after this. So it's me, it's all of us, right? All 4 of us. The dad stayed at the camp the whole time. It was just us 4 exploring the national park. And we're walking down these new paths, right? We find this new camping spot. We peed. I don't know why I told you that, but we peed on top of like tables. Like not on the tables, but like, we stood on top of them. We peed just like in the. I'm gonna just stop talking about that part. But yeah, we're walking around these new trails that we're finding, and we find this. It's not even a trail. It's like imagine this, right? A trail, and you have like an opening here of just like there's like it's probably I think it's a parking lot, like an extra parking spot. It was just grass, so I guess you just park on the grass, and then so this opening. Let me try and show you. I'm gonna do it like this. Opening, then there's like a trees. Then here is another opening, but it's like unofficial. It's like a nature opening. You know what I'm saying? It's like cut trees are down, but then there's trees ahead of it. So we're like, Cash was like, hey, let's go down there. That looks cool. Let's go figure that out. So I was like, okay. But our friend Nicholas, his shoe actually, the sole of his shoe broke. So he was walking around with his shoe in his hand, or I think he took someone else's shoe actually, but it was a boot and his boot broke. So I don't know even how that happens, but yeah. So he was like, I have my foldable chair. I'm gonna sit outside and wait for y'all. So it's me, Ethan, and Cash. Walk through this trail. We keep going, right? I'm like, because I'm like the guy who's trying to be like, make sure I don't die and make sure I don't like go to jail. So I'm like, hey, we should probably go back because this looks like some private property. But they're like, let's keep going, man. So we get through this one spot. It's like imagine there's trees all around us and it's like overgrown, right? So we're all like getting through stuff, and then they have a knife, so they're cutting through vines and crap. And they got to this little mini opening, right? And it has like a little post here. It's like state boundary. I think actually what it ended up being was the state like national parks like ending of the like property, and we go past that, right? I think we kick it actually, like because we didn't know what it was. We kicked it. It was like this white post. Yeah, so we walked past it. We find this huge opening, and the reason that we kept walking was because we saw this huge open field. So we go into the open field. I drop my hoodie just so that we know where we came from. So I drop it on the ground, and I have a picture. There's actually my YouTube profile picture is a picture of this field, or me on it at least. My hair is really short, so I'm kind of chopped in that, but really cool picture. We walk onto this field. You like no doubt 1 mile that way, and then like crazy open. It was a farm, right? There was no crops, but it was a farm. We could tell. We saw a house in the distance. So we walk into the middle of like the very middle. We'd all take pictures and crap. I was being so cool. I am so cool. But yeah, we were all taking pictures, and then we're just chilling, right? We're just talking. Me, Ethan, and Cash. Then Cash goes, "Yo, look, there's a truck coming." And this is how like you can scale how big the place is. He sees the truck. I look at it 5 seconds later. Then it's driving for another 30 seconds. 30 seconds of a truck driving through a field to get to us. That's how big this field was. So he pulls up. I'm like, yo, what's up? And he's like, trespassing. That's what's up. That's gay. Like, what do you? Why are you talking like that? That's not. What are you doing? That was not. That was not slick. That was not cool. What you said there, that was lame. What trespassing? You're 45, bro. Get a job. Like, why are you talking to a 15-year-old like that? But yeah, he says trespassing. That's what's up. We're like, oh, we didn't know. We really did know the whole time. But like, yeah, we don't know, man. We're not doing anything. We can just go back. He's like, yeah, go back. And he was just a very angry person in general. I don't know how you old and angry. Like, come on, bro. What are you doing? But yeah, so let me just try to lock my chair real quick. Okay, it's locked enough. But yeah, so we walk back. This dude Nicholas is playing mobile games on his phone while we're waiting for us. I think his phone died too, actually. So that was unfortunate. Like in the middle of the woods, all of our phones are dying except mine because I'm cool. But yeah, all of our phones die except mine for the most part, are like really small. And what else happened? Yeah, we get back to camp. His the sole of his shoe is gone. It took us about wait no, did we get back to camp? No, I think we didn't go back to camp. We went to the pond I was talking about. Remember the pond in the national park I was talking about? We'll get back to it later. That's what I was talking about. So we go to the pond. We sit down. We're watching the sunset. Crazy view. Crazy pictures. I'm sure I have a picture of it somewhere. My dogs are barking. I hope you don't hear that. But yeah, crazy pictures. They're calling me cool and stuff because I am. Um, nah, but there's this running joke. They keep calling me a lone wolf, bro. It's annoying. I hope one of them sees this too because y'all gotta stop doing that. It's like I'm just trying to not sit by myself, but like sit at a comfortable position, which ended up being by myself because they were all crowded on this one spot. And it's like y'all gotta stop. Like people can't be normal. But yeah, so we see this this cool view. Then it ends up nightfall's coming. We're not back home, and our great friend Ethan gives us terrible directions. This dude, hey, let's go this way. And let me explain the place, right? So we have the gift shop. With the gift shop, then we have a road, right? A pond. The pond we were looking at, and we were like right here. So we walked to the road, then that way. Okay, and this road leads to the camping site if you go far enough. But there's a road on the left of it for the state troopers or the park rangers. That's what they're called. So they had this little whole camp for the park rangers. He's like, I think this is the road we turn on, and I'm like, that is definitely not the road, but we go anyways because I'm like, well, he should know where we're at. So yeah, so we turn down this left road. We're into like let me back up a little. We turn into the left road. There's this truck. Guy's just in there. Like he rolls the window down. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" We've talked to him before. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" Yeah, we're just trying to get back to the camp. He's like, "Okay," and we keep walking past him. He's in his park ranger or like whatever they're called, whatever the rank is. He's in their truck, and we walk into their like facility. He didn't say nothing, so we thought we were just like, "Okay, this is the right path then." And we walk down there, and we see this huge logo of like the company or like whatever, like their logo, right? Park Rangers. And I'm like, yo, this is definitely their headquarters. We are not supposed to be here. This is like, it's like warning or like do not go in here. So we're like, okay, yeah, this is fine, I guess. I was very skeptical. Then he leads us into this forest path. He said himself he does not know where we're at. So he's like, as soon as he says that, actually, we're like 200 steps into this forest path. He hears that, I hear that, and I'm like, okay, the sun's going down. It's very dark right now, like almost no visibility. As soon as he says, I don't know where we're at, I turn around and I'm like, okay, I know where I'm at. I'm going home. And there's another factor. It's, like I said, freezing. I do not have proper equipment, even though I brought a 50-pound bag. So I'm freezing my balls off. Somehow Nicholas is sweating. So I'm like, I don't even say anything to him. I just turn back. And then Nicholas starts following me because he's like, yeah, this guy's smart. So he gives me his jacket. We walk down this path, right? They continue going down the dark, mischievous, unknown path, dangerous path into the forest while it's freezing and it's dark. And their phones are dead. And they don't know where they're at. It's like, what are y'all doing? Like, so that was my thought process. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not staying around y'all. I'm turning around. If y'all want to come with me, that's cool. If y'all want to die in the forest, that's cool as well. So I walk backwards, and Nicholas starts doubting me. He's like, are you sure you know where we're at? I'm like, yeah. So we walk forward, walk down this path more. At this point, it's pretty much pitch black. Like, besides our lights, yeah, we had to use a flashlight, actually. So that's how dark it was. We could not see anything without the flashlight. And we turned down the road. I'm like, yeah, this is the road right here. I remember this all. We walk down there, get to the path, or we get to the camp, and they're both there. So I was thinking, okay, first of all, that's a good thing. I was like, they really might get lost in the forest. But then this dude Ethan tries to like tell us that he knew where he was going the whole time. I was like, no, you did not. I called him dumb like 20 times. They can attest to this. I was like debating, like, yo, that was not a good move. That was a dumb move. You did not know where you're at, and you are freezing. But he was like, nah, I'm smart. You guys are dumb. So, anyways, he apparently with him and Cash did, because it was him and Cash that went down the path, and then me and Nicholas went back. They found a cemetery, and they were taking pictures on the cemetery. So I was like, so y'all went down a dark, mischievous path into a forest, found a cemetery, and kept walking forward? What are y'all doing? Then they're like, they were actually scared. And I was like, bro, that is the dumbest decision making. Anyways, I was glad that they got here before us, because if they weren't getting here before us, they weren't getting there at all. But yeah, so yeah, that's what they were doing. We got back to camp. The next day we went home, right? And just before, a couple things, I wrote down like some events I wanted to talk about. So stuff I missed, right? There was this. Let me give the layout, right? So there's our camping spot right here, right? There's a road, like a dirt road almost, that like goes across a bunch of camping sites. In the middle, like of all of the camping sites, there's this there's a bathhouse, right? That has heated air. So that was also like a spawn point, right? We'd wake up. I was like, okay, I'm going to the bathhouse. I'm freezing cold. I'm gonna warm my clothes up. So that was like a very high method, actually, like a very high level method. Go in the bathhouse, warm up, get your socks warm. Yeah. Another thing I want to talk about, the sleep was terrible. Like I was saying earlier, I was super sick. I was tired. I was uncomfortable because we were packed in like sardines. And you know what? These people, Ethan and his dad, are the most greedy people you will ever meet, because they brought 2 air mattresses that took up half the tent. A 15-man tent, they took up half of it with 2 beds. We're living, me, Nicholas, and Cash are laying on the ground, uncomfortable, cold. Them boys have air mattresses, taking up space. And I'm sick. Like, what are y'all doing? Y'all hoeing us. We were freezing. That's what I'm trying to say. We're freezing. Terrible sleep. For the most part, actually. They complained more than I did. But if you hear me talking about this, imagine they were part of the story. They was mad. But yeah, so let me just summarize this. Or not summarize it, but what else did I miss? We just went on a bunch of trails. That's pretty much it. So that was our days of the camping trip. My first ever time camping. Threw up the first day. Got trespassed. Some guy broke his boot somehow. Peed all over the place. I don't think I didn't dump at all the whole camping trip, which was surprising. Yeah, I didn't, and I lost like 5 pounds. I was like 160 when I got there. I left at 155, so that was cool. But yeah, that's my story. My first camping trip. Hopefully, y'all like can go camping. That's a really good thing. Go during the winter. That's when it's hard, and that's when it's like I feel like it's not more fun, but it's more rewarding to be warm when you're freezing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like actually nature. You know, like when you're freezing cold, no like artificial heating. Just go camping is what I'm trying to say. If you want to learn how to be saved, I have a video, one of these ones right here. And if you want to learn how to start self-improvement, up there. That's what my whole channel's on. So, yeah. That's all I got. Thank you for watching. Praise God.